Hello,
Okay.
everybody, to Conversations with Klana. And today I have a very, very special guest in Thailand, which is Areena. And she is a multi passionate entrepreneur, a Reiki master teacher, hypnotherapist, intuitive counselor, and explorer. It is her absolute passion to inspire others to live a happy, healthy, abundant life. Welcome, Areena.
Thank you, Klana.
Did I get that right? Or do you want to add something?
Yeah, no, you got it all absolutely perfectly right. Thank you.
And I think it's so lovely that we are still in contact because it's a few years ago that we met in person. She found me while she was on Ibiza in a little guide, and she got booked a massage from me on her birthday. I remember that. Yeah, and then I learned from you that there are some similar things, similar ideas, and that at that time you were doing card readings besides your
Yeah,
other job. And
yeah.
I got curious about that as well. So, what are you doing now?
So I still run my furniture business. This is why I put myself in the category of being a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Um, and I've added on my skills. Since I met you, I became a Reiki master teacher because when I met you, I was a Reiki master, not a teacher yet. And through universal signs, I just kept getting signs that it's time for me to become a teacher. So, yeah, I became a teacher and I still continue doing my sessions with intuitive counseling, which is using tarot cards and oracle cards for guidance. So I'm not a fortune teller. I use cards to give guidance. Yeah, because you create your own reality. And to get where you want, the card gives you advice and solutions to it's like talking to your best friend. I think of my cards as like my spiritual best friend that will never lie to you. Of course, there are times because of our ego we don't want to face the truth, because cards are going to just be very upfront and show you everything that's in your subconscious mind as well. And yeah, sometimes people don't want to face their fear, which is ego, but in order to evolve in life, we must face our fears and look into the dark side, so we can evolve. Yeah, and I also am a hypnotherapist, and right now I'm doing my advanced training as well. And yeah, I it's very exciting because, like, look at us, we are on Zoom right now, and even I'm doing sessions online, and it's a good thing that came out from this pandemic is, it shows you when it's like when you really don't, when you think you don't have a choice, you know but you always do, and you're never stuck. And this actually made me reach out to more people in the world. Like, you can do sessions with people all over the world, and I'm connecting more with my friends from, because people are free and they have time. And I have friends all over the world, and like you, for example, now we are online. I mean, we haven't done this last year. you know so yeah.
Yeah,
How
so
about you? Hmm.
there are exactly what you said. Even in the dark, we can find the good things. So how is it for you in Thailand at the moment? Are you locked down or can you do things?
So I have to say I've been very lucky. My business, the furniture business, hasn't been closed at all. In fact, it started to do better because my store is a non-air conditioned store. So basically, we are right on the street, and we just have like fans blowing. So um, because they only asked the stores and shopping malls that is aircon to shut down during that period. So we didn't have to shut down, and because a lot of places were shut down, people didn't know where else to go, so they came to shop with us. And yeah, I took all my sessions online because with Reiki, hypnotherapy, even card reading, everything can be done online. You don't need to be here in person, and it works just the same because, in fact, it could even be better. Like, for example, with hypnotherapy, because you're in your own comfort zone and people are more, and you don't have to think about traveling, and it saves the client the energy and time, and they could just be in their bed even, and just yeah,
Yeah,
getting
I'm
through.
completely with you. It's the same here with what I am doing. I love to meet people in person, of course, and especially because I love to touch them. But what
Me too.
yeah, but what I learned lately is that it works as well if you do it online, and the pros are just what you just said. They are at home in their comfortable environment and they don't need to travel and what's on. So it's different, but there is
Yeah.
no better or worse. And this
Yes.
you said something else at the beginning. You were talking about fear. So
Uh-huh.
how what can you do, because there is a lot of fear and darkness and density in the whole world now.
Yes.
What do you do with your clients, or don't you have clients who are afraid of things?
Yeah, absolutely. I really think that this whole pandemic, and because it's not happening in just one or two parts in the world, it's happening all over the world. And for me, being in the spiritual path, I always like to, because I absolutely believe there's always a greater reason behind whatever happens. There's always a reason for anything that happens in your life. And it really struck me that, wow, people are being pushed to be in the house so that they can go within,
Yes.
because they're always going out, and we always have this excuse that we don't have time to meditate, we don't have time to do this, we don't have time to do that. So it's like the universe is like, oh, you don't have time, go, and now you go and make that time. Now you have all these time to work on your shadow. So in the spiritual world we call it the shadow work. So to work on your on the shadow, and collectively, because we need to learn how to coexist with animals, with the planet, because we've destroyed so much. I mean, look at from the planes stopped flying, and all the factories were shut down. I mean, the air is so much better. The animals are coming out again. In Thailand, we have these turtles that they thought were extinct. They came out to lay eggs after I don't know how many years,
Oh wow, I'm getting goosebumps right now when you're talking about that.
More than 20 years, this turtle never came out. And now they're coming out, they're back there because, we are giving them the space, because we really populated the planet. We, like animals, okay, they have their cycle, but we are doing everything, even with the farming industry. I mean, that's a whole different topic, but I just want to put it out there because it's also part of this, that there's a lot that we need to change. It's a time for change. And this is why, because people are not making that time. People keep having excuses. It's like now you don't have any excuse. You just, and yes, if people are also talking about like I know there's a higher rate of domestic violence that's been going on. That's very bad. At the same time, like I said, there's a reason for everything that happens. So this is also for you to reflect, like, do you deserve to be in such an abusive relationship, you know? And yes, for some people it's harder, but it's for you to, I believe, like, when we are on a spiritual path, we have nothing to fear. We have nothing to fear. And if you make your spiritual practice part of your daily life, you will have no fear because your intuition is so strong. You know exactly where to go, what to do, and you feel you are protected because, I mean, signs can come in from so many different ways, you know, through people, through books, through many things. You know, it could just be you turn on the television and you hear something. So open up. Like when you universe is always giving us signs. It's just up to us. Do we want to listen? You know, and we only can listen when we go silent, we quiet ourselves, and we go within, and then you can hear. And the problem with us is we talk too much and we don't really listen.
That's a very good observation. This is so true. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how have you like through the lockdown, like how have you been keeping yourself sane?
Yeah, for me it was exactly like you said. I welcomed it.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I seem to be weird. Everybody else doesn't like it, but I loved it, and I did exactly what you said. I had
Yeah.
the time to go inwards, to meditate every day. I slept a lot, and I did so many journeys in the higher to the higher realm, which I haven't done before. It was really, really necessary for me at that point,
Yeah.
and it's helping me. It's my growth. Yeah, and now having those for me new things, because I was always mind driven, and spirituality came in more and more over the last years, and this was a massive, massive. Uh, how shall I say? Yeah, I got a lot of that in a very short time, and now I
Yeah.
can integrate that into into my life and into my teaching other people with other people in my into my coaching other people, and
Yes.
that's really, really cool.
Yeah. And I see this is the time for people to I see a lot of light workers, so people who work with energy, and they're coming out more, and this is what we need in such intense time. Yeah, 2020 is really intense, but it's like you know, like when you do this deep inner work and you go through a like detox, it's the planet is doing a big detox. This is what I feel. The planet is doing a big detox. And look at even now with the Black Lives Matter. I mean, things that have been left unsaid for so long. I feel like so many things are coming up now for us to deal with it, to act, like really take action, not just talk about it and forget it. No, we need to be consistent with it, and because we really need to make this new, yeah, it's like, you know, they say the new normal. Yeah, what is, we are not going back to normal because we can't go back to normal. That was really not normal at all what we were living. That's horrible, you know. So we need to change, we need to evolve, and we have to keep evolving. We can't think, oh, 10 years ago it was like this, or yeah, lots of healing subconsciously.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what's happening now. So, and
Yeah.
some because everybody, all of us, we were born in in a way that we have those abilities to connect with the earth, to connect with the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, we just
Mhm.
forgot. And
Yes,
now, whoever is open for that can bring that back into their existence. And as you
yes,
said, the earth is detoxing, so are we. So,
yes.
and so, sometimes it needs a little bit help. And so I'm happy that people like you exist. And then you can, if you're not used to those things, you can get help.
Yeah, yeah. And we are all here for a higher purpose, you know. There is no one, like, we're all individual beings and we all have our own gift. So uh yeah, it's I believe, you know, when people say, oh, I'm not I don't know, I'm not a creative being. No, I mean, be creative doesn't mean you have to be a healer or you are an artist, you know, like very in the box. You are naturally a creative being. When, I mean, your cells are renewing all the time, that's already your body being creative, you know. And there's so many ways you can be creative. And yes, we have to remind ourselves we are actually spiritual being in a human form and not the other way around, you know. And I've had a friend of mine, she quit her job in Switzerland, and she came to Thailand and did yoga teacher training. And she asked me a question. She was like, Areena, there are so many people that are not, they don't understand this, what we talk, you know, like this whole deep conversation about spirituality. I said, yeah, everybody is on their own journey, and we are, our, you know, our duty is not to push people to make them believe what we believe. It's to be the light, and just you be the example, be the light, and shine your light, and let it reflect onto, let it be a ripple effect, and you know, and let it affect onto others. And because everybody has their own journey, everybody has their own path. There's no judgment. You can't judge somebody just because they are not on this path. I mean, if you're judging them for that, there's something you need to look within you again, you know. And I believe this, that a lot of people, they only turn to spirituality um, when it's too late, when you're on your dead bed, or you are so sick, or you had a, just for example, you know, you see so many people, they have a big major accident, or they had cancer, or they had whatever disease that are so deadly, and then they have this awakening, you
Mhm.
know. I so I always say, why do you want to wait for such a deadly event to have such awakening, you know? So I always say we are the lucky ones, that we are already in this path, and it doesn't matter if you know, you can always, this is what we do, we can educate people and remind people
Yeah.
that we actually have the answer within ourselves, instead of going out and seeking. This is why there's so much fear and anxiety. It's because we are always looking for answer from the external sources, you know, and approval from external sources. But actually, if you connect with your higher self, uh, you will feel you're guided. You have the answer. You know, you don't feel scared. You feel protected. Yeah. So it's a very I have to say, with my spiritual journey, going from Reiki level 1 to, there was a lot of detox that happened with me through every levels. And but it only gets better and better. And even when you're going through that journey of detox and shift in your life, sometimes you feel like, wow, my world is breaking apart. But no, it you're making space for new energy to enter, because you're vibrating at a higher frequency now. You can't be there anymore. You know, you have to, you will make space for new people who are also in the same vibration. And like, for example, if suddenly, you know, you get fired from the job, don't take that as a curse. Take that as you're actually, the universe is pushing you towards something better, you know, because sometimes this is a thing. When we don't listen, we have a hard wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have these, or you have this because or this, or the pandemic, because nobody is listening, so fine, go. It's like, go stay at home and really be with yourselves. You know, and face your this is why there's so many people, even they're having problems at home. It's because they have to deal with their triggers. It's the trigger, you know.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not easy, and it's totally easy, uh, you know. And to understand that this
Yeah.
conversation that we have now, I
Yeah.
couldn't have had that conversation, I think, 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
because I wasn't there yet. And that's so true what you said before. Everybody is on their own path and has their own tempo to go or not to go. And
Yes.
there is nothing to judge. And if you say, of course, that's my attitude too. Why wait until something so extreme happens? But you know, I I heard those sayings in earlier years, but I could not understand it. So it was
Yeah.
my way, and now it's quite late. I'm not the youngest anymore, but now I'm getting it, and I'm still not there. It's a constant work in progress, so to speak.
It's an ongoing journey. It's not like, you know, some people, they manifest something, you know, and then they forget about it. They're like, let's take relationship, for example.
Yeah.
You know, we do a lot of inner work, and we're like, oh, I manifest my, you know, my dream partner. And then you suddenly stop loving yourself. You forget about self love. And of course, you're going to go back to the same cycle and pattern again, you know, because you can't expect another person to make you happy.
Yeah.
Nobody, not your parents, not your children, not your partner, not your friends, not your boss, not your colleague, nobody. You are responsible for your own happiness. And this is
You
what
are,
I,
you are responsible for everything that's going on in your life. Yeah,
yeah,
and it's a matter of where you set your boundaries and say to others, stop. When you
yeah,
let them come in, for instance, let's say what you mentioned before, the domestic violence. This is,
yeah,
and now I'm saying something that not everybody will like. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
from the higher perspective, this is meant to be like that. There is something that you want to learn, and this is why
yeah,
you are getting in this abusive situation. Yeah,
yeah,
from a human perspective, this is not at all correct. Yeah, this doesn't work, and the other person, the abuser needs to be punished, and blah blah blah, all those things, and everything is true.
yeah, yeah, because most of our, so before we were born, we already have a soul contract that this is the parents I'm going to be born with. And there are certain spiritual lesson. This is what I call it, the spiritual lesson that your soul actually chose to go through it, you know. But then when you go through it, after that, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to continue to play a victim and blame others and blame your fate for whatever is going on? Or are you going to step up and take responsibility for your life and make a change?
Mm.
You know?
And it's so much more, it gives you so much more freedom since I got that concept.
Yes.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not 100% living it. Sometimes I'm falling back into my old patterns, but I got the principle of that. And
Yeah,
ever since, wow, this is so much more freedom.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Even for me, it was if I have to share my personal journey was so me getting pushed into the spiritual path more. I mean, being born in Thailand, and being raised with an Indian family, already we are exposed to the spiritual world. But of course, I didn't know about Reiki at all. It just came to me, and because I was soul searching that time. And my parents got divorced when I was 24, and they've been fighting since I was 12. And also, I was sent to boarding school when I was very, very young, 5, not because I had a very good childhood, but it was just a thing back in the days. There was no international school in Thailand and India. I mean, Indians that were born in Thailand, they would just send their kids to India to study and to get the language, also the culture. And yeah, I never knew I had abandonment issues. And, I was attracting a lot of, and I think now because I love to travel, and I still, my current partner is also from a different country. You met him, he's from Germany, but yeah, but good thing about COVID, he's stuck here with me.
You.
But yeah, anyways, that's a whole different story. Since I met him, I really felt like all the patterns have been broken, but yeah, I used to get into relationships that um so for me, so your parents are your first love.
Mhm.
And for me as a child, when I went into a very deep meditation, I saw my inner child, and love for me was distant, and I always had this long distance relationship that would never really work. And not just because of that, a lot of them would remind me of my father in a so my father is a great man, very supportive and everything. He just have a really hard time expressing and showing his emotions, which is very different from me. And it would trigger something inside of me, like these men that I was with, you know so it was something I had to look within. So I stopped blaming them, like, oh, you are not like this, you are not like that. Instead, I started to look within, and wow, what is it in me that I'm attracting all these people, you
Yeah.
know? So you never blame other, when you stop blaming other people, and you look within yourself instead. It could be any kind of relationship, even if you have a problem with your boss and he takes advantage of you. Instead of blaming him, you should go look, ask inside of you, what is it in me that is triggering? Why am I allowing myself to be treated like this? you know we have
Mhm.
a choice. We don't have to allow ourselves to be treated like this. So we must go and ask our higher self why. And most of the time it comes from your childhood. you
Yes.
know Maybe you had an authoritative parents or whatever. A lot of the work that I do is inner child healing is the first root thing that I always tap into people. And yeah, and coming back to my parents divorce and the whole family drama, it's for me in my journey was also to accept that. So my father moved on and he's very happy, he remarried, but my mother still chose to live in the past and in her misery and keep questioning. So my mother is a very good example of playing a victim.
Mhm.
So she keeps asking, why me, why me? She don't want to look that. It's always there's a spiritual lesson or whatever. For her, she cannot go past that. And for me, I
And
just
it is
had to.
her choice that she does it like that. She has all the possibilities that you had, that your father had. There's nothing different, but it was her choice. And so everybody can choose, because we have free will, which path to go.
Yes, absolutely. So she chose, and I even tell her sometime when we talk, like, you choose to be in misery. You could choose to spend time with your 3 children, travel with us, but no, every time we talk, it's about the past. So you have all the rights as a child not to take this negativity, because being brought up in Asian countries, they put a lot of guilt into you as well, like because here it's more close family, so for me it took a lot of time for me to be like, I accept, and I'm not going to feel guilty that I cannot be there for my mother. So I felt like I tried, but she chose to live in the past. So I don't want to be pulled down with her. So I choose to, yes, keep my distance. And what you can do best is, so even me as a healer, I cannot heal my mother because she is not open to healing. So this is one thing also very important for us to understand, that even you are a healer, it's not like you can control anybody's destiny or journey, because for you to be able to heal anybody, in fact, actually you don't heal anyone. You are just them. They heal themselves. And first of all, they need to be open up for change. So she's absolutely not open up for change. So there is nothing you can do, but you can, in your meditation, send that person love and light, and pray that they can see the light.
Yes.
This is what you can do the best when you're dealing with such difficult people.
And I love that you said that with a healer. I'm also calling myself a healer, but at the same, because that word exists and some people can do something with it. But at the same time, I am not the one doing the thing. I can assist, but the healing happens within the people.
Absolutely, because if they are not, nothing happens. You will go through the same cycle. When people ask me, how long does it take to heal? I said, it's up to you. It's not up to me,
Yep. Areena, how can people reach you if they want to get in contact with you?
So I have my website, soulfulhealingjourney.com. And I have the same Facebook page, Soulful Healing Journey. Instagram also is Soulful Healing Journey. And so I'm active on all 3 of the, so my website. On my website, of course, it's you can see all my services that I provide and the price, and it's very easy to contact me. WhatsApp, so easy nowadays.
Yes, that's so true. Thanks God that we got the internet. Areena, it was such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for taking the time.
Yes, likewise.
And to the viewers out there and the listeners, if you want to contact us, I will put it into the show notes in the written form. And if you like those conversations, please come back to my podcast or my YouTube channel and subscribe. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Klana, for having me.